It's a good sign that I'm willing to shoot more videos. The motivation is good, and I broke 100 followers or subscribers on the YouTube channel, so that's encouraging. Following the algorithms on YouTube. My other channel, which I've had for over 10 years, has about 102 subscribers and gets less than half of the views and stuff. So one of the reasons why I started this channel, I think 2016, off and on, because I wanted to start something from scratch. The other channel I had was, I had some clients, there's a lot of people on there who don't use YouTube and stuff, and it's, fitness is very competitive, so you have to have another route. So I didn't know what I wanted to do and what I could do on a consistent basis. Is this on? Okay, we're good. So it's good that I'm at least getting some momentum on certain things. Social media, I got a lot of momentum on these past few days, or weeks rather. A lot of it has to do with me and fear of being judged and relationships. It's all like, I don't have any friends, okay? And the reason I don't have any friends stems from either me pushing someone away already. Well, I don't actually push them away, I kind of just like dissociate and go off into the into the darkness, I isolate myself because of the way I was brought up and a lot of hurt that I've had and abuse that I've had, and that is a thing that's affecting not only the quality of my life, which is less important. However, it's important because it's tied to what I want to do. Whether personal training clients, massage therapy clients, or online, developing something online, it's about creating relationships and talking to people and not just turning cold when something in my head kind of goes off. This in lies I'm going to get to the topic of this video, which is how do you deal with I have one video like this, but this is like another one dealing with narcissistic CEO. But I'm giving this whole preface because there was a big time gap. I tried to explain it in some videos as of late, but it's kind of all over the place. I had bought 4 businesses. I just took the plunge. I had the money. If you go back to the first videos I had, way back in 2016, my father died, and there was some money he had left, and it took all this while to get it, and I decided to use it to buy, first of all, a gym, and then it came up that I bought 3 smoothie places. And I've been getting myself out of it and losing a lot of money. Basically, the money I got, I'm basically losing it all. I don't regret doing it, losing my shirt and all that. It just wasn't meant to be in terms of money, but it was a very big learning experience. The reason I went into it was, first of all, I never did that. I thought because I had such a problem developing relationships, even business relationships, or personal relationships, I'll fill that up later. I thought I would be like Bill Gates and have everything established and just deal with it, you know, which would probably be my strong point. But on some terms I learned it's not my strong point, it's based on relationships. And when something's already set the way it's set, you can't change it. That's a frustration I've had as a personal trainer. When you set your price and then you want to raise it, you can't, you know, without creating a problem. You could lose the client or be very firm in whatever happens, and I'm not that good with that. I've gotten better out of frustration, but on this level I haven't gotten better. There were so many things wrong, and the main thing was I bought the businesses to learn more than to make money, but I didn't expect to lose so much money. And the person who sold it to me was a teacher, one of my teachers, though he didn't remember me. There's a video on this channel where I'm giving a speech. You might see him in there. And I, you know, trusted him. There was a lot of things. I believe that sometimes you have to just kind of jump into things, and then you learn as you go along, because there's no preparation that will prepare you for this, whether it goes well or not. What I've learned from this is that to be more assertive in negotiation processes, to learn when to walk away, to learn when, because I was afraid to rustle feathers when you're negotiating. It's a very scary ordeal. Once, it's like, I guess, people who get married, once you start, or if you're in a relationship for like 20 years, you feel like you've invested so much time, you just got to keep going, and you let the thing drag you into it. So that is kind of how I went. And being is that the 3 smoothie places, I knew the gym wasn't doing well, and I had ideas to bring it up, which wasn't enough, just because the actual staff that worked there was substandard, and I couldn't hire staff for a greater amount of pay, a greater quality, because I didn't have the money for that. It was kind of like a catch-22. You got what you got, couldn't buy new equipment, I spent all, you know what I mean? It just, a lot of things were wrong, but now that I've went through all that, I know. Will I ever have a chance to do that again? I hope so. But not right now, because I don't have the money. I don't even have an income. I have such a low income because I don't want to go back into personal training per se. I want to go more online and then subsidize it with personal training and massage therapy at my leisure, because I've been doing that for like 30 years, and it's getting into relationships. It's just my issue with relationships. I can't keep relationships, so I can't keep many clients. I've had a client for like 20 years and it was like a bad marriage. I have another one, it's been about 5-6 years. So it says a lot about me and the types of relationships I have. So, learning that about online, it's helped me get over my fears. Now, I have to build stuff, just like building this YouTube channel and creating friendships, I guess. I would say so, yeah. I have one guy I'm talking to on Instagram, and I never saw him. I see his Instagram, but we never talked on video. It's off and on because if I talk with someone and we haven't talked anything sexual, I don't even think I'm attracted to him sexually, and he's never mentioned anything about me, which is good, because that would have thrown me off, as it always does, unless I want to have sex with the person and then there's no real relationship there. You kind of see where I'm getting at with my issues, maybe. So it's a lot of contradictions. So I'm trying to maintain people I talk with without any other motive. And if someone doesn't talk to me for a few days, or they don't answer a text that, you know, that I don't get discombobulated by it. It's not that I get discombobulated by it, because I do not anymore, but I'll just flush everything. I see everything in extremes, and that's hard thing for me to realize. I don't think it was always that case. I think it developed more over time. Or maybe not. It's hard to say when that actually began. But I know I didn't have friends for the longest time. I had a bar mitzvah and I didn't have friends to invite. So I invited teachers. And it is fucking sad. Because they're the only people who gave me attention. And I don't have contact with any of them. They're just fleeting, you know. So, taking my ability to cultivate relationships, which will help me build my presence online more, which will help me create what I want to create, and if I can get a couple of close friends in that, and whatever happens from that, I'm good. That's kind of like why I'm at this impasse. It's because like you try a lot of things and then everything's based on relationships, and I can't keep relationships, so that's the bottom line. That being said, the gym is gone, so I have to take care of certain things that I don't want to be charged for. They already they removed a lot of the equipment and they made it into a boot camp place, and that's fine. I have some loose ends to tie up, and I've been neglecting a lot of the loose ends because I've been binging on Netflix and comatose for the past, since the holidays, and slowly trying to get things done. I've been good, but today was a hard day because there's some accounting work I need to catch up with for the businesses, because people want their end of year tax forms and stuff, and the accountant isn't really helping me, and I can't blame the accountant. I have to do the work, and it's a lot of work, and it's overwhelming, and I still have other things I need to do, and I haven't even gotten back to my blog, which is what I want to monetize and build. So there's a lot of things, and that's what happens in my head. There's a lot of things, and then it becomes overwhelming, and then I'm anxious. So today was a big anxious day, but when I got to the gym, and my stomach was hurting, and I was congested. I'm still congested a bit, but obviously it was from that anxiety. I mean, I've been good the other days. So, the CEO, the woman who owns the franchises, the gym wasn't a franchise. The 3 smoothie places are franchises, of which I'm losing my shirt, you know. So, the way she is, she projects a lot, and she gets into these tantrums, and she's like, I don't know, 55, 60, and it's her husband who has the money, and she's only worried about her reputation. These businesses they're not doing well. That's, you know, on me for buying businesses that aren't doing well and expecting something to turn around from it. So, I don't know if I'm explaining myself well. It's really difficult for me to get these into words, these thoughts in my head, and I don't like it when people misunderstand me. That's another one of my issues. So I'm always rambling. I either don't talk at all, or when I do talk, I ramble, and it just goes from one thing to the other. And when I notice that someone the slightest thing, I'm hypersensitive to the slightest thing that can turn me off and being like, okay, they're not listening, they don't even care. Shut up and ditch the person or whatever. That's kind of how I am. So, she'll ramble, and she doesn't really do anything to help with the business or help the people in it, but she's worried about her reputation, and she pretends like she works, and so she'll be off in London or something, and she'll be like, I made this call, I'm working hard for you, you know. That's what she's telling herself, but she's writing it in a text. So these last, she wanted to talk to me to finalize me giving up one of the businesses. So I'm not actually selling it, I'm giving it up. The other one I sold for at a big loss. And so yesterday she's like, can we speak at 1 o'clock? And I said, yeah, but I usually hold out before I answer her. She expects me to reply very quickly, and she'll just push like a 6-year-old child. She'll just push it until she gets what she wants. And so what I do, what I treat these type of people is I just go, I ghost, you know, and then it freaks them out. So that's my tactic with dealing, because you don't want to call, you don't want to call a bitch out, right? Knowing that, okay, I know what's up with your shit. You don't have any reputation. People think you're a fucking idiot. Behind your back, it's your husband who's got the money. You don't tell all that shit, because then all hell will go over. So what I do is I just, brush it off. But it does bother me. So I just kind of hold out. And then she'll text again, and she'll hound. And so there's like 4 texts here. And her texts are not, they're never nice texts, but there are a lot of projections. So I know that when she's saying something, she's talking about herself. So, but she frames it as if it's to me, You might not get the context of this. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to open it, so now she's going to see I'm opening it, and I'm going to answer her, giving her enough time just to answer. Because eventually, when she's in the right mood and she's not triggered, I tell her I'm not always next to my phone, So when she's not, triggered, with what do they call that? Narcissistic injury. I just try to keep it at bay. I don't say anything to trigger her. She'll just calm down, and then she'll smarten up and come at me properly. You gotta teach these types of people how to behave towards you, which is what I do. I've gotten very good at doing this. So it says, I sent her a message and I said okay, and then I just didn't feel like it because I knew I was going to the gym and I was feeling bad and I didn't want to deal with her. That's basically it. Sometimes she'll say that, like she used to get into these tantrums and saying, what is it you have to do? What is it, as if, or she's priority number 1, which she's not. She's a piece of shit. So, but she'll say something to the sense that, that I'm not thinking she's priority 1, which is exactly true, but I don't acknowledge it or anything. But it's exactly true. Yeah, I just don't feed into it. She knows that she knows she's a piece of shit and she's useless, but she projects it onto me, or the actual guy who took over the businesses, who's been there for a while. Because initially he didn't want to take him because he has one that's doing well, but some of them aren't doing well. So she pushed him into doing that, no doubt, but not with her money. So so I said tomorrow's a bit not good at all, or today's not good at all. I said this morning, can we make it for tomorrow? And then she replies no, and she says I am busy And if you want this done, this will take 5 minutes by phone. That wasn't that bad. It wasn't as insulting. I actually didn't read it. And then she texted me a few hours later. Please let me know what you want to do, as I am not available at the drop of a hat. I would appreciate a little respect and compassion, as I have done nothing but tried to help you. Which is bullshit. She's doing this for a reputation. So, I'm not going to go into that, like saying that she's helping. I'm just going to say, how is Thursday if not, how about Friday or Saturday or even Sunday? I just state my question. I don't even go into whatever she said that she's worked for me, or I'm sorry. I just get back to the negotiating. I just say, this is it. And then she, like a 3-year-old or whatever, you have to give him options to choose. So I'm not acknowledging that she said she worked for me or whatever. Get my money back. You know, if you want to work, and I'll just press send. That's kind of how I do it, and it seems to work, you know, and especially by text. I try not to go into these long things, and I don't know her, and I don't want to know her, you know. So I've gotten better now at discussing things to the camera or to you guys. Though it's there's always, you know, like a doubt of that people will be not understanding the whole picture, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. The fact is I'm able to talk to it, and it's doing me good again. And I'm able to get some control over myself and dealing with others, others who are not good for me, situations that are not good for me. This is by and large, or by far, the greatest, deepest, troublesome situation I've been in to date. And I'm cool with it. I think the only thing is I didn't learn this lesson sooner, and I couldn't have. You know, it's like people who think that, you know, when they become rich and famous, that everything's going to be good, and it's not. Because when you're fucked up, you're fucked up. So you got to work on that. So it needed to get to this pinnacle to realize that I got to work on building, you know, something, and that means building relationships, not making it so that people do have this saying that, you know, you build it, people will come. Not all the time. You got to go after it, you know. On Instagram, you got to go after people and comment with them, start conversations. I can't start conversations with people. So today I had a very good drive. I've tried it. I'll get into these little phases and then thinking this isn't working or whatever. That's me sabotaging myself. So I think when you've gone through so many things, you realize, okay, this is the path, and then you see it because you've seen what the opposite does that didn't work. It's the same thing with my hair. I've had long hair, well, this time around it'll be about 11 years in July. It's not going to go to the floor, but it could go possibly to my tailbone. Not all of it will taper. And I've learned to accept that. My hair curls, so I can make it so it's fuller and it looks nice. But if I take it out of a braid or whatever, it'll look all stringy. Why am I saying that? Growing your hair and working your body, like all these things, including building relationships and building a business, are all the same to me. You need patience. When something doesn't look good, you don't just chuck it. You know? Back in the day, I had long hair for 12 years and I was on the diving team. Didn't know how to take care of it that much. My hair's curly. And it grew to about here. And then I kept trimming it and it was still dry. And eventually I got sick of it that it wasn't growing longer. And then I just shaved it all off. And I kept my hair short for... I tried to grow it once. And then someone talked me out of it. Only got to here. And then I finally grew it out after a shaved head buzz cut in 2008. And then with all these videos on YouTube, I saw people who had similar problems that I did, or similar situations, or similar hair textures, a mixture of everything. And then it just took all this time, I'll say about 9 or 10 years, till I started feeling comfortable with my hair. And it's growing. It's not growing fast because I trim it quite often every few weeks. But I just trim like millimeters off. I haven't trimmed like an inch or anything, and I don't need to. And I'll do individual hairs. And then sometimes I'll just go without even thinking about it, without obsessing about it. I was always obsessed with my hair and freaking out when something's off. Oh, I would do something extreme. Now I'm learning to kind of calm down and just slowly build it. You know, or if the net growth is only like 2 inches per year, you know, in 5 years that's 10 inches. That will be down to here. My hair goes to like here when I pull it. My bangs had gone to my belly button, but it was like one hair. Why am I saying that? It's just, you get anomalies. You kind of learn about your hair. Not all of the hairs are going to be long. You get into a routine where you do it every day, and it becomes a part of your life, and then you don't think about it anymore, or as much anymore. And then you work on the next thing. That's the same thing I need to do with building the online business. Just do it, and not let my head get in the way that, okay, it's not going well, I'm a fucking loser, fuck this shit, and then sabotage everything. What's good about this YouTube channel is that I've put it down and taken it up. It's like, at least you know there's still something there. And I've seen people go through it where they built it. That's the way it is. When I've seen people do it, I'm like, oh, and it just takes enough time for me to realize, okay, that's all you have to do. And I watched the Gary Vee video today. I'm not into Gary Vee, but I take bits and pieces from things. And what he was saying to do with Instagram, I was trying to do with Facebook back in the day, and they would block you when you're trying to invite people and befriend people and all that. But you get back into that, and I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, you build your confidence up to do that. If I can't chat people up anonymously, well, my profile's there, but cold chat people up online, how am I supposed to do it in person? Some people are more chatty online and less chatty in person, or the opposite. I'm both. I'm antisocial on all fronts, and because I'm scared. So